We are here today. Today is August 7th of 2023, and we have with us Pono Yanagi of Pullman, Washington, but he's not really from Pullman. He's there for a few years anyway. And Pono, I want to talk a little bit about golf this summer because you are a fifth-year senior, going to be a fifth-year senior at Washington State University, playing for the men's golf team, and you've had a pretty good summer so far, and we'll get into that a little bit, but thanks so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Okay, so again, I mentioned that you are from Pullman. You say that you are, but you're not really from Pullman. Where are you from?
Hilo, Hawaii is the east side of Big Island.
Yeah, okay. And how did you end up in Pullman? Were you recruited to play for the team, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, so I believe when I was in sixth grade, my sister actually got recruited to play for the women's golf team here.
Oh, okay.
So I like to say that from then I was a Coug.
Yeah.
I go here and
Yeah.
yeah, fortunately, Coach Dustin White, um, looked at my golf game and ended up recruiting me to play here.
Okay. So your sister Nani was her name, right?
Yes.
So what years did she play for the team?
I believe 2012 to 2016.
Okay. All right. And so you kind of had WSU on your personal radar a little bit anyway, from that standpoint, yeah?
Yeah, it was always a dream to play for WSU. Just loved the time, and
Nice.
yeah, I was hooked immediately when I stepped on campus for her unofficial visit.
Oh, you came out with her, huh?
Yeah, we were in the mainland for a month-long trip, playing tournaments, looking at schools for her, and
Yeah.
we drove through Pullman, met the coach, and
Yeah.
they showed her around, and we got to see a little bit of the town, and it was amazing.
Okay. So you obviously had to have a little bit of a game yourself. What kind of experience did you have playing in high school in Hawaii?
I never did play at AJGA event, just because it is expensive to fly from Hawaii to the mainland, especially for a lot of tournaments. But I played in quite a few of Junior World tournaments. I got to play in the Junior PGA once, Junior America's Cup, Eddie Hogan Cup. And then Hawaii State Junior Golf Association, they do a really good job at hosting a lot of tournaments in the state.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gives us an opportunity to play. So
yeah. Really so at some point, WSU head coach Dustin, he must have had his eye on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe he knew about me. I did send out, I think, the initial email to show that I was interested in the school. And he saw me play a few times during summers, and I really just tried to make the most of that, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So coming to what was your first year in Pullman playing for the team? Freshman year?
2019.
2019. Did you play much that year as a freshman?
Yes, I believe I believe I played every event. I think I played a few as an individual. But yeah, I started right out of the gates. I mean, I think my first tournament was the Husky Invitational, and that was maybe a couple weeks into the season. So
yeah,
it was really good to get that experience like straight away, right away. It was really
that's a good field in that event. Yeah. Playing at Palouse Ridge Golf Club as your home club there in Pullman. It's a pretty nice facility, yeah.
Oh, it's really beautiful. I mean, I like it during summers. It's quiet, you can do your own thing and without any distractions. But the course itself, it's a beautiful track. I mean, get a little bit of links feel to it, but still your normal type of golf.
Yeah.
So you get a nice mix of everything.
So your summers between school years, did you stay in Pullman, or did you go back home to Hawaii, or what did you do?
Yeah, so for most of the summers I stayed. It is easier to drive to tournaments and cheaper to drive to tournaments. But Yeah, and I think it helped me stay more focused.
Hmm.
Just concentrate on golf. Um, Going home is nice. I mean, this past summer I went home. I'll go home during winter breaks. Um, but for summers I like to stay up here to just focus
Hmm.
on golf and kind of just do my own thing and play tournaments.
Yeah. How is it winter times in Pullman? I know it can get a little cold sometimes, a little snow. What do you guys do as a team to keep your game going?
So we have an indoor facility. We have two trackmans in there and an indoor putting green. So
Hmm.
um, our coaches will do a really good job at creating a schedule for us to do stuff in there and
Hmm.
specific things to work on
Yeah.
in there.
Is that at Palouse Ridge or is that somewhere else on campus? That
No,
indoor
it's
facility?
at Palouse Ridge.
Is it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be a fifth year senior. Is that by your choice, or is that because of the COVID year that was lost, or how'd that come
Uh,
about?
yeah, it was the COVID year.
Hmm.
Also, I believe it was my choice. I did sit
Yeah.
down with the coaches and talk to them about it, and we came to a conclusion that I would stay and play for the fifth year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
and it's a good opportunity for me to continue playing and um, just play more tournaments and prep for, I guess, the next chapter after I'm done here.
Sure. Okay. Well, I don't want to talk about that chapter just at the moment because you got a pretty good chapter going right now. So let's talk about that chapter. That's this summer's playing for you. The 102nd Washington Men's State Amateur Championship was held at Wine Valley Golf Club earlier this summer, and you played pretty well there. You
Mhm.
had a good tournament. You won it by several shots, kind of going away in the last round, especially. Had you played Wine Valley Golf Club before this
Uh,
event, or?
yeah, my first time playing it was a few years back for it was actually one of the qualifying sites to get into the
Yeah.
men's state am.
Yeah.
Um, so that was my first time, and it was nice to be back there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. The last round there, again, you kind of started pulling away pretty good from the field. A pretty good finish there for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. But that was not, of course, that was just kind of the start of your summer, really.
Yeah.
You had which came first? I know you qualified for the U.S. Amateur, but you also played in the Pacific Coast Amateur. Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Must have
Uh,
been the Pac Coast that you played in first, right? After that,
um, I believe I played in the. I think I played in the USM qualifier and then the
you
Pacific
did.
Coast.
Okay.
But yeah, the Pacific Coast that was an amazing experience for sure.
So the Pacific Coast Amateur, that was held up at Capilano Golf and Country Club in British Columbia,
Mhm.
just on north and West Vancouver. Had you been across the border up there to play any events at all?
I I didn't even have a passport. Um, right when I found out that I was playing, I was really trying to do everything I could to get a passport, and luckily I got it right before I had to leave. So first time.
Okay. And you were selected to play on the Washington Golf Morse Cup team as well, one of three players to play in the team competition that is part of the individual competition at the Pacific Coast Amateur as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think of that golf course, Capilano?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
It kind of I like the golf where you have to really place your ball in the
Hmm.
right spots. It is a strategic course. You really had to choose your holes where you attack, and there were a few where you just gotta accept par.
Hmm.
Um, but I loved it. The members are really great, inviting and um, yeah, it was just a great event.
Had you played with some of those players before? I know they came from all over the West Coast, 15 golf associations all over the West Coast. Had you played with them before? Did you know any of them?
I know a handful. There's a few guys who played for Pac-12 schools. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's a few that I knew from golf tournaments, that we play with them.
Hmm.
So that was
Okay.
fun.
Yeah. So the qualifier for the U.S. Amateur was held at Palouse Ridge, your home club. That was a little home field advantage for you. You were actually the medalist of that qualifier, and they only took 2 spots from that qualifier into the U.S. Amateur, which, historically is one of the most difficult championships to get into because they take so few spots from each qualifier. So not an easy thing to do. But you shot rounds of 65, 65 at
Mhm.
Palouse Ridge as a medalist. Pretty nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
They played it. I see. They played it as a par 70. Is that normal for Palouse Ridge?
No, so they ninth hole is a par five, but they played us from a tee box up and made it into a par four.
Hmm.
And 17 is normally a par five,
Hmm.
um, but we play it as a par four, even with the team during the school year.
Oh, you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that course a little bit. That 17th hole has got that creek or river
Mhm.
something going right through the middle of it. So you have to lay up before that for the tee shot anyway. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. It's usually just a normal driver shot will get
Yeah.
you somewhere
Oh, is
just
that right?
short of,
Okay.
um, but yeah.
Yeah. What was the weather like when you played that qualifier?
I believe it was just picture perfect weather. I think it
Yeah.
was a little warm,
Yeah.
but not too hot. I mean, a couple summers ago, I remember it was like when we had that heat wave come through, and it was like 115 degrees, and we were playing 36. It was nothing like that. So
Yeah.
it was perfect.
So you played in qualifiers before for the U.S. Amateur?
Yes, I believe I played a few. I never have made it to any USGA championship like this.
Hmm.
Um, Not even for the US Junior Am.
Hmm.
So it is a new experience for me. I'm excited to
Yeah.
go and
Yeah.
just soak it
So
in.
the U.S. Amateur is going to be held at Cherry Hills Country Club next week, starting August 14th, actually a week from today,
Mhm.
down in Colorado. When are you going to go down there to start prepping for that?
I'll be leaving August 10th. Kind of just get used to the area. Um, Spend some time putting a lot. I know they have rules on, the golf courses and all that, but yeah, I just wanted to be able to get there early and take my time with stuff.
Yeah. So being in Colorado with the altitude a little bit higher, do you think
Mhm.
that's going to have any effect on the game at all, on your game in particular?
It is different. Luckily, we have technology. The TrackMan, plug in the numbers of the
Oh, you can.
elevation. Yeah.
Huh.
So it's good to get an idea of what my ball will be carrying most of
Yeah.
the time. Um, but also just I have to do my homework properly when I'm playing the practice rounds and take note of what club is flying what distance and
Yeah.
really take note of.
So with the TrackMan, are you starting to do that already? Like this week, you can start gauging
I
how
started
well.
actually a little while ago.
Yeah.
I like the TrackMan, but I also like to see my ball fly on the range. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to mix it up day to day and get my numbers one day and then hit a lot
Yeah.
on the driving range another day. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was something where my coaches especially were like, it's you need to really figure it out and
Yeah.
um, get adjusted already.
Yeah. A lot different playing at that altitude than playing basically at sea level in Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a difference to even get adjusted to Pullman because Pullman is about 2,400, I believe.
Hmm.
So that
And
alone was a difference, but
yeah.
I think the highest elevation I ever played probably was BYU, their event.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I don't complain if, air is thin and you can hit your driver further.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a lot better than things flying shorter, so
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Who are you going to go down there with? Are you going by yourself? Or are you going with some teammates or anybody? Or
I'll be going down by myself, but fortunately, I got my assistant coach on the bag. Um, I won't have my normal caddy that I had the success at the Washington State Am and the US Am qualifier and the Pac Coast actually, but um, she will be moving on to play her college golf, and that's when my assistant coach stepped in. And
Mhm.
fortunately, he has some knowledge of the courses that is down there,
Oh,
so that's a big advantage for sure.
what's his name? Assistant coach?
Kevin Tucker.
Kevin Tucker. Okay. And who is your normal caddy?
Her name is Jenny Ham or
Mhm.
GA Ham. Um, she played golf for WSU, but now she is moving on to Fresno State,
Oh,
golf for them in her fifth year. So yeah.
yeah. Okay. So for the rest, so that's coming up next week here at Cherry Hills, the U.S. Amateur. Anything else for you this summer? And when does the season start for WSU?
Um, that will be all for the summer because right after that, I believe we start school.
You do, yeah.
Um, and since we don't have any newcomers into the team, I think we should be getting started with team practices, meetings, everything as soon as possible.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure when our first tournament is, but I'm excited for the season. I believe we have a pretty good season lined up. So,
Hmm.
and
So,
I believe the first is like
oh yeah, yeah,
Husky
Husky
Invitational.
Invitational. Are you? So you said no new players coming into the team. Is that a normal thing, or you just guys you were all so solid already that you were good to go?
I'm not sure really what the reason was. We did have a good handful of guys already on
Hmm.
the team. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure what the coach's reasons were, but um, I think it's good. We had a solid team last year.
Hmm.
Um, and I know the guys are playing solid this summer.
Yeah,
Um, and we know what we want to do. It's just going out there and just
yeah,
executing, what we're practicing. So I'm
yeah.
excited.
So at the beginning of the summer or any summer, does the coach say, "Hey guys, go out and play as much as you can wherever you can. I need you to get more tournament experience or whatever it may be." Do you have specific orders from the coach?
No, they're not necessarily allowed to, like technically, tell us how much to play or if we even need to play.
Hmm.
It's more on the individual. Um, and for me, like it's a lot of budgeting. You gotta money doesn't grow on trees, so I really try and pick and choose what tournaments I want to play.
Yeah,
Um, Definitely this year was a surprise with the Pacific Coast and the USM. So, but those are tournaments where I could not pass up.
yeah,
Um, and fortunately, my family and I were able to make it work, and we're going. There's
yeah.
no.
Good. Any family members going to be in Colorado?
My parents will come for the first few days. I know they already had a pre-planned trip, but they're gonna come and support for sure.
No, nice. Yeah. So it's 2 days of qualifying at Cherry Hills, right? Before you breaks down into match play.
One day at Cherry Hills, one day at Colorado Golf Club.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. The assisting course. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So then you'll play one more year at WSU.
Mhm.
And any plans? I know that's way in the future, but any thoughts about after your fifth year?
Definitely want to continue playing.
Hmm.
It really did hit me after the past couple years that this is what I want to do.
Hmm.
It is tough. Making it in golf is tough, but
Hmm.
um, I don't think I would be satisfied if I didn't give it a shot.
Yeah.
Um, Not sure where to move yet and all the um, little stuff, but definitely want to continue golf and pursue it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Okay. We were talking today with Pono Yanagi, the 2023 champion of the Washington State Men's Amateur Championship, and also a medalist qualifier for the U.S. Amateur coming up next week, going to be held at Cherry Hills Country Club in Colorado. Good summer so far, Pono, and really wish you all the best next week and really the coming season at WSU.
thank you.
Thanks for taking the time this morning.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.